Hello, everyone. I had a little clicking problem there. Good morning. No, it's good afternoon, but I guess it could be good morning somewhere else, right? Hello, everyone. I am back with yet another fabulous episode of iRock TV, where we talk all about real careers, real results, and real something else. Okay, we are here. I'm so excited for you all. I'm sitting up here clicking, trying to get everything ready. And I think you all can hear me. Let me know you are in the audience. As I always ask you all to do is please share the broadcast with your followers as well, so they can come on and hear this information and also engage. If you have questions, we always make sure that we put your questions up so you can ask our wonderful guests any kind of questions that you may have based on the topic that we have, or just in general, because what we do is look at what kind of career that you have. How can the people that I bring to you, you get an inside look of what they do in their career, and maybe have some ideas on how you plan your career as well. My guests are awesome in dropping great nuggets to help you move the needle in your own career. And I want you to do that. So it's all about real talk, about real careers that get real results. That's it. I don't know. I had a brain freeze for a moment. So I am going to go into let me see, who do we have here? Hey, Nairobi. Thank you so much for being with us. Nairobi is always with us, and I'm so happy to have her. She's a great supporter of iRock, and she is always engaged in what we're doing. So thank you so much, Nairobi, for being with us. I sure appreciate you. Thank you so much. And again, anybody else out there, please share the broadcast so we can get others on and listen to this great conversation. And if you happen to watch the replay, I love it when you all put hashtag replay in the comments to let me know that you watched it as well. And if you have not done so as of yet, go out to my YouTube channel, iRock TV 21. iRock TV 21. Make sure you subscribe and like the videos out there. Great information, over 100 plus videos out there with about 15 guests. Oh my gosh, awesome information that will again help you with your career as you continue to advance. So please make sure you go out there and support the channel. And if you just feel like it, go out to iRock TV, buy me a coffee over at buymeacoffee.com. You see the banner scrolling on the bottom. Thank you all so much for all of my supporters. I really appreciate it because I get some surprises as well. Thank you so much for showing me your love through your Buy Me a Coffee. It's only a $5 donation to keep this going on. You could buy it for 1 cup of coffee. And hey, if you want to buy me a couple of cups of coffee, go ahead and do that as well. It supports the show and all the expenses that go behind it. And a big shout out to Ian, my wonderful director of operations and projects, and my VA. He is always so awesome in setting up these for me. So all I have to do is jump on and then be able to do that. He's awesome in making sure that our guests are engaged as well. Thank you, Ian. Big shout out to you. All right. So I am going to go and do my intro commercial, and then I will bring on our fabulous guests. Give me 1 minute and I'll be right back. And I am back, and I have my beautiful Natalie on. Hey, Natalie.
Hi, it's so great to see you.
Yes, thank you.
It's been too long.
Yes, I know, right? It's so wonderful to see your face. I miss getting that hug from you when we're at the HR stuff. Oh my goodness. Oh, you look beautiful and fabulous as always, Miss Natalie.
Thank you. We need to get together more often. I can take these compliments all day.
That's right, girl. Well, you all, I am so excited to have Natalie on. Let me give you a little bit of background about Natalie. She is a servant leader who thrives on creating relationships, adding value, and earning the trust of prospective, current, and future clients. What you get from her is an authentic and trustworthy relationship that extends well beyond earning your business. As a business performance advisor at Inspirity, she works with small to medium-sized business owners in our community to align their workforce and their business goals and deliver outcomes that drive revenue, attract and retain top talent, and remain compliant in all the crazy times that we live in. So, I mean, that's just a little bit about Miss Natalie. I will yield the floor so you can go ahead and tell us even more than that.
Oh, thank you. Well, I will share with the audience that I met Nickquolette. Oh my gosh, it's been probably 4 years ago. And she was giving a talk at a women's.
I think I'm losing you, Natalie. Can you hear us? Uh-oh, I think we're having a slight technical difficulty. Just give us one moment, audience. While we're getting her back in, go ahead and share the broadcast with your audience as well. And let me know you're out there watching. Let's see. Hold on for 1 second. Just 1 second, you all. Just 1 second. She'll be right back. Hold on with me. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to break. Okay. No worries. We lost you. I told everybody to hold on. She'll be right back.
I'm telling you, when the wind blows, literally when the wind blows outside,
Yes.
it's a white knuckle ride. So my sincere apologies. I don't know where
this is live. These things happen.
Well,
but go right ahead.
I was going to say what I was trying to share is that Nickquolette helped craft a lot of what she read at the top of the show about me personally, because she was instrumental in coaching me up with, how to create a more authentic and memorable LinkedIn profile. And so, yeah, she gave me a lot of great bones to work with. So if you haven't already gone through that exercise with her, I suggest that you do that because it really does paint an accurate picture of who we are as
Okay, I think I'm losing you again. I think I'm losing you, Miss Natalie. Uh-oh. I think I am. It shows audience, it shows an unstable connection on looks like on her end. And yeah, because I have all bars for mine. So it may be, let's see. I know, yeah, Nairobi. She said, oh no. Yeah. Oh, we lost her again. Okay, so let's wait. So, well, thank you so much, Hassan. Hold on with us, okay? Hold on with us. Our guest right now is having a little bit of Wi-Fi issues, but again, we're live and these things actually happen. So I'm waiting for her to get right back on, and then we'll continue. So hold on, Hassan. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere, okay? All right. So in the interim, again, if you have an interesting career story that you love to tell, I would love to have you as my guest. Just make sure you send an email to iRock resumes. iRockresumes.com and put in there in the subject line guest for iRock TV, and then we'll get you all the information. Let's see. Right, that was okay. Friday, Daniel. Okay, let me see. Where is? Oh, let's see. Okay. So, Nairobi, what's going on, girl? How's everything going? Good. Okay. Let's see. My guest is having Wi-Fi issues, and we're going to see if we can get her back on because I see that it's not stable for some reason. Okay. Hopefully it will come on. But I love being on here. Let me see what I can talk about. Okay. So what's going on right now is that it is almost year end, right? For your performance reviews. And it's so funny because we were having those discussions right now. Oh, I think she's back. We said you're just gonna wonder.
I'm here to tell you.
Yeah, that's
Me and technology, here's the nugget for everybody. Me and technology, we broke up a long time ago over COVID. We have a love-hate relationship,
yes.
and I'm ready to leave him at the door. So I
Yes.
apologize. I'm on my phone without Wi-Fi, so perhaps we can carry on and not be
Yes.
connected anymore. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, friends. So very
Okay.
sorry.
No worries, no worry whatsoever. Again, like I said, this is live. So this is happens. And that's what's so wonderful about the authenticity of the show. Because what happens, what happens. And you know what? It's so funny, Natalie. One of my other guests that was on last time, he couldn't hear. So guess what? He did part of his interview with his phone to his ear. So we got a chance to look at his ear. So don't worry about it.
Well, better him than me. Although I did clean out my ears today.
Yeah. And his ears were clean, which is a good thing, but it was just really funny. It was just live. And then when he was able to get to a place where he could hear, then we went back to normal. But we got a chance to talk to him with the phone to his ear. So oh my gosh. And you have to have a sense of humor with all of this because this is just real life, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
But
that's how we
but go
overcome.
ahead, tell us more about you. Go ahead.
Well, anybody that knows me knows that I am a pretty transparent person, and I don't know if that comes with age because one of the things that I look back on, and not so much with regret, but just what you learn over time, is to not take yourself just super seriously.
Right.
There's a time and a place, and know your audience, but then in a lot of respects, I feel like if you get too hung up in what others think and or how you might limit yourself, the fear of failure, any of those, whatever context that you look at that yourself through, whatever lens you're looking at yourself through, that over time, as you realize that some of that stuff that you got so anxious about and so had anxiety about, just really in the grand scheme of things don't matter. And
Yep.
not only that, you look back and think, oh, why did I waste so much time? And there you kind of get that feeling of regret, that kind of underpinning that's like, oh, and I have a 20-year-old son who I'm trying to kind of shepherd him through those moments. And he's an introvert. I'm an extrovert. Um,
Mhm.
so you kind of dialing in and figuring out what makes you you and embracing
Mhm.
it, and
Mhm.
not letting other people, including yourself, hold you back from being your true self. And so when I meet people, um, and try to bring them into my world, it usually starts with trying to find out who they are. That
Mhm.
old adage, who is it that says, seek first to understand before you are
Stephen
understood.
Covey. Mhm.
Thank
Stephen
you.
Covey. Mhm. Yep.
And so, yeah, there's so many good resources out there to help you overcome that stuff when you get to be
Mhm.
older and maybe more established in your career, and or you have a life changing um, moment. But man, how do you get the people we
Mhm.
were to listen to what it is that is now? That's so. Um, it's worth listening to when we're younger. I feel like that's my opinion. So I try to draw it out of people.
You don't
um,
try. You do because you did me.
I try to get
Yep.
all the. It's like
Mhm.
at my church. I attend Preston Trail Community Church over here in
Mhm.
Frisco, and one of our pillars in
Mm.
that we try to exude is that we love story. And I really never defined that about myself until I heard
Mhm.
it mentioned, as part of what our church's mission is. And part of that is understanding people's story. And I'm like,
I
that's
love
me.
it.
I love
Mhm.
story. And
Yep.
the you get bonus points if you're from another country, or maybe you've had a different life experience than me. I love it even more. Tell me everything.
Yes.
And so, yeah, putting yourself out there and building your network around others that can lift you up and expose you to new things, new ideas, or and not always think exactly like you.
Mhm.
People are just awesome.
Yeah.
In spite of the world we live in, people are awesome. And when you can crack the nut of the person that you just can't quite figure out, and once you do, you have a
Yes.
lifelong friend. You've got
Mhm.
some credibility in your own self, and you make someone else feel valuable. So it's a win-win-win all the way around.
I so agree because that is so you, because that's how you and I connected so well, because you were truly interested in me and my story. And then we connected beyond that and then say, hey, now let's work together. Because I mean, it really makes a difference when you are interested in the actual person beyond what they do. Because that's what I always tell people too. It's not about your title, it's about who you truly are. And when people understand who you are as a person and the intricacies of who you are as a person, you build stronger and deeper relationships, and those relationships actually last longer, because it's not a what's in it for me, it's about how can we enhance each other. So I love that about you. I always have loved that about you, and you're a great connector too, because you'll connect people
Thank
in a
you.
minute.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, I love that about you. So I love our topic. Keep rocking it in the real world. Now, you know what, my audience, I always try to give an insight of what your role is and what you actually do. So tell us, what do you do at Inspirity?
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, my just to give you a little bit of background, because I did not know what a business performance advisor was
Mhm.
before I was offered the opportunity at Inspirity. I've always had a sales or a business development background, not realizing kind of the key or core characteristics of somebody in a sales role. Um,
Mhm.
they're even though you might sell widgets one day or maybe sell a service the next day, you do have some underlying qualities or
Mhm.
characteristics to be in a sales position. Um, call it what you want. Business development is
Mhm.
another you know
Okay.
role, if you will, under the sales umbrella. Where it's different with Insperity, as a business performance advisor, while you are in the, your call to action is to bring on new clients to Inspirity.
Mhm.
But the
Mhm.
focus for me as a business performance advisor is to seek out small business. We're
Mhm.
talking 3, 5 employees at minimum, and
Mhm.
then graduating all the way up to, maybe 150 um, uh, employees. But the,
Mhm.
the the key driver is we want to help companies in our own backyards
Mhm.
prosper and grow faster, make more money, but in turn, if they're sitting right here in our backyard, that means the people, our neighbors, our community
Yes.
is impacted by the success of that business. And so the whole Insperity mission is to help businesses, run better so the communities can prosper.
Mhm.
That really resonates with me, kind of going back to what
Mhm.
we were talking about earlier is,
Mhm.
being authentically engaged in your community,
Yes.
whether that's your neighbors or maybe where you shop, where you do business, where you play, where your kids go to school. That's where Insperity lives, is
Oh, I
in
love
those
that.
communities. And so
Mhm.
I find those business owners that are like, you know what, I need some help with my HR infrastructure.
Mhm.
We want to add benefits to our employees' offerings. We want to
Mhm.
attract and retain talent. So that means, guess what? We need to kind of shore up um, how we recruit new employees. Are our job descriptions right? Or,
Mhm.
with all of COVID over the past 2 years,
Mhm.
are we compliant at the local, state, and federal levels when it comes to our
Mhm.
employees? So there's all of these layers to
Mhm.
what you do. You don't have a business unless you have employees, right?
Mhm.
So they're
That's right.
pretty much
Mhm.
your most important asset. You can't make your
Mhm.
widgets or sell your service without.
Without the resources, the
Yes.
human resources. Mhm.
Yes, yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, a lot of times my audience is
Mhm.
going to be that small business owner, maybe the CEO, um,
Mhm.
and sometimes too that HR department of one. Maybe they're
Mhm.
technically an office manager,
Mhm.
and they're having to navigate some pretty deep waters when it comes to employee. Um, just anything that touches an employee, and that kind of takes up all of their time.
Mhm.
So by, you know, at least going through the exercise of learning about what Insperity does, whether
Mhm.
that's on a Zoom call or sitting down over coffee,
Mhm.
or in that business owner's office,
Mhm.
taking a deep dive and learning about what their goals are for the
Mhm.
company, how
Mhm.
their growth strategy is mapped out currently, and
Mhm.
does that align with your human capital
Mhm.
strategy? Um,
Mhm.
so making sure that all of those things connect, all those dots
Mhm.
connect, doesn't mean that you'll necessarily be an Insperity client. Doesn't always
Mhm.
mean that it's a good fit, but you will
Mhm.
come away with a greater understanding of what it's going to take to get you where you need to go within your business, and it's going to
Yes.
help Insperity
Mhm.
kind of uh, earn some more credibility in the community as, like,
I
what,
love that.
I
Mhm.
talked to Natalie with Insperity, about our, we're struggling with running payroll.
Mhm.
Their solution was spot on. We're not ready for it, but you know what? My person in my network who owns a business and is on a growth spurt right now, they need Natalie. So I know her, I trust her. She's going to be able to,
Yes.
draw down on some real significant, information that's going to be valuable. So,
Yes. I
never
love that.
underestimate. You rock that network.
Right.
Rock that network.
And you know what I love about you, Natalie? Not only did you talk about how the company is so in the backyards of the community, really helping the community. I believe they chose you because you have that already in your nature. And that's how you leverage that. No matter what your title is, you're going to leverage who you are as a person to get them to trust you. So if they don't need you now, they will in the future. So you're the connector between the what Inspirity offers and also what the community, the small business owner in the community needs. And you are that intricate trust factor. I love
Well,
that. So I
thank
want my
you.
I want, and see, I just pulled all that together. But look, I want all my audience to understand it's not always about your title. It's what do you bring to that title for that organization? And can you buy into their mission and take their mission and align it with what you want? And that turns out to be a dream job because once you're able to pull all that together, you're actually living in your purpose. You're working in your purpose. You're operating in your purpose. And it doesn't matter what the title is because she's going to be that, like she said, well, it's business developer, whatever. But no, what it is building trust through her and her own personal, I guess, ethics or work ethic or integrity, trust, all of those things that she brings along to actually match up with those companies. And that's why they call on her. And that's why she's pivotal to integrity. Integrity, do you hear me? Time for an increase in raise.
Yes,
Yeah, I got to
yes,
put that
all
out
those
there.
things.
Right, right, right. We got Stacy on the line with us. Hey, Stacy, glad to have you as well. Okay, so now let me ask you this. I got some of my questions here, as you know. So, what when we think about your career, what is one thing you wish you had known before you even began your career?
Oh my gosh, the
Mhm,
importance of being,
mhm,
you know, I'd love to say it's the importance of that education. I mean, that obviously
mhm,
sometimes it goes without saying, but
mhm.
I only have an associate's degree. I did not
Wow.
take
Mhm,
full advantage of the education that, my family or that my I guess doing school loans, all those things. I don't have a 4-year degree. I want to go back and get my 4-year degree,
mhm,
but I wish I hadn't known that because although my journey is mine, it's my story. It's made me who I am today. I
yes,
probably could have circumvented a lot of whether it call them I won't say mistakes, learning opportunities,
that's right.
um,
All yours. Uh
right,
huh.
spinning my wheels, thinking I knew it all,
Mhm,
you know, taking my own sweet time to get humble and
mhm,
and put myself in a position of serving and learning. I wish I'd have done that a lot sooner, which hence why I'm trying to convince my 20-year-old son that that's don't waste time. Doesn't mean college is for everybody,
right.
but pick a
Mhm,
vocation
mhm,
and start. Of course, think about it. 35 whatever years ago it was very different for new
mhm.
professionals coming out of high school and college than it was
Yeah.
when we were coming up. A
Mhm,
lot more out there to offer. So, if I would say that's if I'm being completely honest, that's
mhm,
what I would say to my young
mhm.
self.
Okay. Well, good, good. And the fact that you've made so many strides in that is absolutely awesome. And the fact that you said it's something that you want to personally do, that's something that you want to do even now, and that's okay. So everybody can, like you say, pick a vocation because there's so much more out there these days. College is great, but you can go and do a 7-week course and learn a whole how to do a whole business. So
You
there's so
sure
many
can.
options out there. Yep, yep. So, leverage those options. And, when you're ready for, if it's college is not for you, look for something else. And then you could come back around to it when you're ready. That's
That's
okay. Because
right.
guess what? College is always going to be there.
Yeah,
Right?
it is. You're exactly
Yes.
right.
Now let's talk about in your career. So, what is your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
Oh my goodness. There was quite a few of those. I mean, as I said,
Uh-huh.
they're
Mhm.
learning opportunities.
Yes.
Um, you know, I I wish I could just pinpoint one, because I feel like that where one door closes, another one opens, that. And so it
Yes.
could be losing a job. It could be missing the mark on a job, or getting passed over for a
Mm-hmm.
promotion. I feel like that some of those very things are to some degree in our control. And
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned humility a while ago, that sometimes in my journey, you kind of think, oh, I got this, or I'm really good at this.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to do this, and you kind of muscle your way in, and maybe fail to know your audience, or
Mm.
understand where somebody else maybe has been there and done that, and quite
Mm-hmm.
frankly did it better than you, and you didn't take the time to know their story. Again, going back to that Stephen Covey, first understand before
Yes.
you're understood. And
Mm-hmm.
so I would say that of all
Mm-hmm.
my failures and missteps,
Mm-hmm.
it's all been somewhere wrapped
Yeah.
around that. And
Mm-hmm.
and maybe just the ignorance of not putting importance
Mm-hmm.
on that. That it's not saying I still don't, but
Yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
more inclined to draw someone else um, into a conversation, just with the whole expectation that I'm just going to sit and be silent
Mm-hmm.
and listen, visually, actively, with my ears,
Mm.
putting on
Mhm.
that complete listen,
Mhm.
and truly hear somebody. Because yeah, there's always going to be somebody out there that can do it better, or you know longer, more efficient, whatever it
Mhm.
is. There's always going to be
Mhm.
somebody out there that can give you a run for your money, and you better be
Mhm.
willing to come alongside them and learn from them, versus the other way around.
Yeah, I love that because it's so true because we have so many different as I've been renaming them failures where like you said when one door closes another one opens and what we have to do is make sure that we don't get discouraged. And because if something happens then you will reassess, readjust and then you go back at it. Those who stay in failure mode are those who don't know how to pick themselves up to go back after it. So that's on the, but if it's a fall, if you fall down, guess what? You get back up. So it's better. But when you fail and you stay there and then you don't see any hope, then I think you probably need to call me because I
Yeah.
did help you
Well,
out.
you know
Yeah.
what? And I'm glad
Mhm.
you said that, because
Mhm.
that's true. And you think about
Yep.
the way the conversation is today,
Mhm.
of mental health, emotional
Yes.
health, and how the past 2 years has impacted people in those areas. That yeah,
Yeah.
if you do have a failure, or you do make a
Mhm.
mistake, you're
Mhm.
probably more inclined
Mhm.
um, to let yourself kind of swim in that misery.
Mhm. Mhm.
And if you don't have people like Nickquolette, or even a friend like me, um,
Mhm.
but
Yes.
somebody in your
Yes.
circle of influence that is there to encourage you, and to
Yes.
they're the ones that you call, and you're like, hey, I've had a really crappy day. This happened. Um, you know, will you just listen to me, or share some encouraging words? Um, you know, that I feel
Yes.
like is so, that whole network thing,
It's
and
key.
rocking your network is,
Yes.
it's a real thing.
It
And
is.
now more than ever.
Mhm. Oh my gosh. And you said it, now more than ever. And people think just because you can't meet in person that you don't have a network, but you do. That's what LinkedIn is all about. And it's not just having a beautiful profile, it's how do you leverage that profile to connect and have those conversations and things like that. So you have to go beyond that. So well said, well said. So now let me ask you this. What advice would you give someone wanting to pursue a career like yours?
Well, I was, maybe because like I said, I had no idea that I was qualified to do this job, and my
Mhm,
previous role was business development for a credit union.
mhm,
Um, I didn't know what a credit union really was until I started working there. I had been
mhm,
in hospitality for over 20 years,
mhm,
and got burned out, quite frankly, and
mhm,
so again, knowing that I always had some sort of sales and or service
mhm,
um, characteristics or
mhm,
core requirements and
mhm,
job function,
mhm,
I still didn't know I was qualified to do anything else but work in a hotel, or plan a
mhm,
wedding or whatever. And lo and
mhm,
behold, kind of doing a soft skills inventory of, yeah,
nice.
you might be really good at spreadsheets,
Mhm,
or maybe you're certified in, I don't know, maybe to be a nurse or whatever.
mhm,
If something really resonates with you, and in a case of sales or business
mhm,
development, or being actively engaged in a customer facing role, um, I would say to find a resource that gives you kind of a soft skill evaluation.
mhm,
I
mhm,
love people. I could talk to this pen and have a pretty good conversation.
Yeah,
Um, and then and then there's and then
yes.
but then you talk to the pen, it doesn't talk back. Well, how do you handle that?
Right, right,
Because
right, right.
sales comes with getting a lot of no's,
Mhm,
or maybe you can't please every person all the time. And if you're a people pleaser and you still kind of get shot down, well, guess what?
right.
You better
Mhm,
have another soft skill to kind of recover from, oh, yeah, that hurt a little bit when they didn't
right.
respond. Um,
Mhm,
so I would do a soft skill evaluation, because it's easy to be taught the
yes.
mechanics of how does this pen
Mhm,
work, or a
mhm,
formula for a spreadsheet or whatever. But if you don't have the soft skills that go with it, or the heart for
mhm,
people in
mhm,
a sales role, you might struggle a little bit. And if you're a
mhm.
salesperson and you're like, you know what, keep them coming. I'm a
Yep.
transaction. I just need
Mhm.
you to sign this credit card slip, and I get my
That's
little
it.
commission, and I'm gone. If you're transactional, there's a
Mhm.
place out there for you to
Yes.
earn a ton of commission. But if you're
Mm.
like me, and put more emphasis and value in the relationship versus the
Relationship.
transaction,
Yes.
then you can probably find a lot of ways to build that soft skill set. Volunteerism, volunteer
Mhm,
somewhere. You kind of
mhm,
learn by doing,
mhm.
and you're not going to get fired if you screw it up. If you're volunteering, right? But
Right,
it's a
right.
good way,
To
yeah, to kind
develop
of get,
skills. I tell people all the time, it truly is. Yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
I volunteer on Mondays at a horse uh, ranch for disabled
Oh.
children and veterans. And
Mhm,
I've quite, again, being really honest, I started there because I want to own my own horse. And
mhm.
I didn't know what I'm getting into and trying to get myself a horse. But I've learned a lot by volunteering out at Main Gate. And then the
Nice.
bonus is you get to work with some fabulous children and adults that need me. So
Oh,
I'm getting heart filled that
yes.
way. I'm getting to love on horses. I'm getting a
Yes.
little exercise while I do it. So there's a lot of ways that it would surprise you that you can figure out how
Yes.
to hone in on skills and open up your heart to learning new things just by volunteering.
I love that. I love that. And I've heard of NCOPE as well. So that is an awesome organization. Thank you for your what you do there. And just like Natalie said, you all, an assessment. And one of the things that we have start offering this year, actually in the last couple of months, which has been very successful and has been blowing people away, is our 60-second career assessment. And that tells you about your soft skills, your hard skills, how employers need to interact with you, even down to making recommendations on what kind of emails you will respond to. This
Mm-hmm.
10-page career assessment only takes you less than 60 seconds. You literally pick some images and it will tell you all about yourself. I have blown away anywhere from virtual assistants all the way up to CEOs, as well as an attorney who was she said, Nickquolette, I cannot believe that this assessment told me all about myself. And she is very detail oriented and just a legal mind out of this world. And she was even blown away. So I recommend you all go and take that assessment that's out there. It's only $25. I used to do the disc assessment, which is about $147. This one is by far the easiest, quickest, and the most beneficial. Tell you all about yourself in less than 60 seconds. So I highly recommend you all doing that, because knowing that within yourself will also open up opportunities for different career paths that you probably never thought about. Like Natalie said, she was in hospitality for 20 years. And then she knew she's always had this sales competency and relationship building competency, because sales is about relationships. Because you know what, Natalie, people get scared of sales. They just think they have to pick up the phone like you do a transaction. No. It's about building that relationship that softly gets you into a yes for an opportunity to help them. It's not a sale, but it's an opportunity that you're providing a service to their company they can bring on to help them out. So that's what the whole mindset shift that people have to think about when they're looking for opportunities, because sales is not all bad. You have to know what you're doing and how you're presenting yourself. So that's what I want people to understand. So I'm glad that you said that. Assessments are key, and that's what we use now with our clients, because it tells us a better story and insight to be able to write better documents. So thank you for saying that.
Sure.
So tell me about this. So what, let me see, what are the best resources that helped you along the way in your career?
Oh, goodness. Let's see.
Mhm.
I did, thankfully worked for organizations that believed in investing in their employees. And so I was able to take advantage of some sales training, Dale Carnegie training for presenting. And even with Inspirity, they've got, oh my goodness, I'm still drinking out of a fire hose, learning all of the
Nice.
facets of
Mhm.
how Inspirity serves their clients and
Yes.
the employees of their clients. In
Mhm.
fact, I'm on break right now for
Mhm.
our lunch break,
Mhm.
because we've been in training since 10 o'clock this morning and we'll be done about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Wow,
And
very nice. Kudos.
yes,
Mhm.
so really and truly, there's, oh goodness, there's so many different books, and I'll send you a couple of those that
Nice. Mhm.
they can be, Amazon, they could be half price books, because some of them are kind of, the good to greats type
Yeah, and we
books.
can post them on YouTube so people can grab that list. Please, please, please. That would
Yes.
be awesome.
Yes,
Yes.
I
Yep.
will do
Mhm.
that and send you two or three. And then now, uh podcast.
Yes.
When you're riding in the car or maybe taking the dog for a
Car
walk, and
University. Mhm.
hmm you can go on, and good Lord, there's so many different topics. But if you're looking specifically around sales or relationship building and
Mhm.
speed of trust, those types of
Mhm.
um, books that again are considered classics in some regards, you can find an equally compelling, and sometimes even by the same creator or author, you can find a podcast related to that subject matter. So And in fact, we've been given several different ones through our Inspirity training that we've been having, over the past couple of months. So I'll pull some of those and share those so that you
Yes.
can share it with the
Yeah,
viewers.
yeah. Post them right in the YouTube channel so they can just pull them right out. That would be
Okay.
absolutely awesome. Yay. Okay, good. Okay, so let me ask you this. If you were to oh no, I forgot this one. What are the 2 to 3 most people who have been the most influential to you?
Oh my goodness. I thought about this one long and hard.
Mhm.
I would have to say my mother, and not just because she's a fantastic woman, but she and I,
Mhm.
unbeknownst to me, um, she walked a very similar journey as mine, as far
Mm.
as being
Mhm.
as a single mom,
Mhm.
little or no college education,
Mhm.
and growing herself up out of all of that. That a lot of the advice and things that she shared with me over the years it's not just mom advice. It's been there, done
Mhm.
that advice.
Mhm.
Which makes me love her even more because I know all the crazy that
Mhm.
she had to deal with, over
Mhm.
my sister and I growing up. But
Mhm.
and then and I tell her this still to this day, one of my very first uh, leaders, boss, supervisor, whatever you want to call her,
Mhm.
in my hotel career, Sigrid Helgeson.
Mm.
She changed my whole life when I was an admin um, in her department. And
Mhm.
she was the director of our department at the Adolphus Hotel downtown. And this is back in
Mm.
the mid 90s, mid
Mhm.
to late 90s. She, I mean, again, I was the admin, knocking it out of the park, doing all my little
Mhm.
paperwork, answering the
Mhm.
phones and all these things.
Mhm.
And me and my teammate, we kind of just got complacent and just kind of went through the motions. And you don't do that in the hospitality world, and you definitely don't do it at the Adolphus.
Mm.
Um, they're a signature staple premier establishment in downtown
Mhm.
Dallas. Well,
Mhm.
she made up a complete, I swear to you, it was a memo 4 or 5 pages long, basically telling me all the things I was doing wrong, from the way I dressed
Mm.
to how I might manage a phone call or what have you. And basically she said, I'm giving you all of this so you can make a choice. You can
Mm.
you can, you know, take this with a grain of salt and decide, maybe this role, this company is not your jam, maybe you need to
Mhm.
move on. But
Mhm.
these are my expectations. And if you want to get
Mhm.
on board, I will support you and help grow you up in this industry.
Oh,
And
yes.
I was so taken aback. I'm like, wow, she cares that much about me that she actually,
Mhm.
in her best and softest and most stern delivery, uh, kind
Mhm.
of put it to me like, you need to put up or shut up, because we don't have
Mhm.
time. And
Mhm.
I tell her again to this day that you were key and probably having that
Mm.
tough conversation
Yeah.
that grown-ups have to have from time to
I love
time.
that. Yes.
And
Mhm.
so she made me realize how important it is to show up every day and, sometimes fake it till you make it, fight through it,
Mhm.
however that looks for you. Just,
Mhm.
just figure out what is most important. And if you can meet these expectations, then I got you. But if you don't,
Wow.
then, you know, for what
Oh
it's
my
worth, you
gosh,
might
you
you
said
might
so
need.
much in that. Natalie, that is like most powerful because during this time and right before when you were getting your Wi-Fi together, I said it's all time for performance reviews at the end of the year. And I started to go into what are you going to do to prepare yourself? Because what people find when they do get a performance review that is not to their liking, they just want to shut down. They don't take ownership. What I
Right.
hear and what you just said is that you took ownership and she cared enough to tell you the truth, as hard as it was, and being an adult about it for you to say, okay, I got to figure out, do I want to put up or do I want to shut up and go? Because
Mhm.
we in leadership have been in leadership for over 21 years. We have to make sure that people understand, is this for you or not? And it's not a bad thing. It's not people, oh, they just fired me. There's always more to the story than just getting fired. It's about what is it. So I love the fact that you said that was one of the most influential people in your life, because people will probably first hear the story if they go back and watch the replay. Well, how does a performance review that negative be one of the most influential things? But it's how you interpret it and how you took it, and you became an adult in that whole process and say, let me go ahead and get this together. I
Yes.
love that. And that is so beneficial for our young career professionals. It's not about hurting your feelings, it's about how does someone care about you to help you navigate the organization that you have said, yes, I want to be a part of.
Right.
Right?
And I would say too that
Yes.
in a lot of ways, it was because of Sigrid's her demeanor, the way she carried herself, the
Mhm.
walking the walk with
Wow.
us. It
Hmm.
made me respect her and take
Oh,
that
yes.
constructive criticism or bad review, whatever you want to call it, to take it
Hmm.
to heart, because I'm like, she's somebody that I aspire to, or
Hmm. Hmm.
she's her authentic self. She's successful in this role, or
Yeah.
in her role, and
Hmm.
so yeah, there's some leaders out there that probably wouldn't have delivered it the same way, much less cared
Hmm.
enough, and
Yeah.
so yeah. It's I was fortunate to be in that position, because it could have easily gone the other way.
Yep. Hmm. So
you
true.
know could have
And
easily
what
gone the other
grace.
way.
Oh, that is so awesome. What a great story. See, I love talking to you all. These are great stories. Okay. So let me ask you this. So if you could step into my shoes, what would you have asked yourself that I didn't get a chance to ask you?
Oh my goodness. Well, I already kind of got my shameless plug in about volunteering at Main Gate. Um,
Mhm.
so
I love it.
I won't go back and
Mhm.
talk about that, but
Yes.
I do. I wasn't joking when I was talking about the volunteerism, and that I would just encourage whoever
Mhm.
isn't already actively serving somewhere to just do it. And
Yes.
some people are fortunate enough to be able to open up their pocketbook and donate, which is
Mhm.
critical as well. I get
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
but there is something rewarding
Mhm.
and heart changing when you can
Mhm.
physically be out doing
Mhm.
something to help someone or a cause or something. Um, Dallas HR is another organization that I belong
Mhm.
to, where I serve. I'll be
Mhm.
director of member engagement for 2022, and we
Yay!
are
Congratulations.
thank you. And we're currently looking
Mhm.
for,
Mhm.
of course, we always want to add to our membership, our chapter, but we're also looking within our membership for new volunteers, because here's the reality:
Mhm.
is it's not just Dallas HR, it's not just Main Gate, it's not just my church, it's across the board. Over the past 2 years, volunteerism has taken a hit, and for obvious
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
as we try
Mhm.
to ramp back up and get the communities and where we live, get them engaged again,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, boots on the ground are needed more than ever, and just about every facet, whether it's your neighborhood restaurant. I mean, our Fuzzy's Tacos over here was closed for almost 6 weeks because they didn't
Yeah.
have enough people to work. So, that's why I say, don't be
Mm-hmm.
afraid to be out and about. If you're still apprehensive because of the pandemic and so forth, nobody's judging. There's other ways that you can engage and volunteer. And I would encourage you, if you are in transition and looking for an opportunity to work, get out there and volunteer, because you're going to
Yeah.
meet some more people. You're going to impact your community, and you're going to feel better for it and get yourself, it's just going to lift you all the way around.
And that is so true about volunteerism, because one of my coaching clients ended up doing that, because she said, yeah, Nickquolette, they just asked me to come and volunteer. And I was just thinking, maybe I should. What do you think? Because I need to look for a job. And I said, well, go ahead and, just get yourself out of the house or what have you. So she said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and volunteer. It ended up that she volunteered for one of the biggest I guess, events here in Dallas, where she got a chance to organize this big major event where she was going to be at the table, help delivering stuff and meeting all of these big wigs in the organization. So when she came back and told me about this, I said, oh, no, we got to come up with a strategy. She's like, well, strategy? I said, no, you're going to be at this event. This is what we're going to do. So then we created this whole strategy. Do you know she landed her dream job because she met someone and who told somebody about her, and then they met at that event and they ended up hiring her? She said she would have never, she's going to be my guest coming on soon, but she would have never would have even thought about that, because she was just in a slump, and so volunteering allowed her to showcase some skills. And then they ended up giving her a little bit of administrative money, because she ended up doing some more work or what have you, and ended up landing the job, because she was laid off from the hospitality community because everything was shut down. So she is like so ecstatic. But I say, no, we about to develop a strategy on this. So yes, volunteerism is so important. So Natalie, in addition to your books, you got to promise to go post the volunteering that you do in the YouTube as well for HR, because I'm a member of the HR as well, and also for the man gate, so they can look at that. So when they're looking for it, they can just click the link in the YouTube channel and go straight there. So shout out to all of that. And Nairobi said, what you say, Nairobi? I was in American Corp service. Yep. That AmeriCorp is also very nice to serve in and volunteer, because it is so awesome. So I thank you for saying that. Yay. Okay. So let me ask you this. So when I say I rock, what does I rock mean to you?
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, if anything, just on it means that I'm awesome.
Yeah, girl, say it. Go ahead, Miss Natalie. Go ahead. I love it. Yes.
Rock. You rock, and that's when I type that into an email, maybe I'm, thanking somebody for doing something. It's always in all caps. ROUROCK.
Yes.
And so it is. And I went through a leadership class with the city of Richardson, and the alumni of the leadership program, you have that alumni person that's in your little group, and they're called the Rocks, ROC. And so also can mean, when it comes to just being a rock and a foundation, somebody's a steady, a constant, something heavy to support you. So it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of people, but I think it just means that, we're just awesome.
Yes, it does. And when I tell people, right. And when I tell people, I said, say the word to yourself. I rock. I say, yeah, because you do. And then they sit there and like, what? I rock. I say, yeah, you do. And it's like, oh, I get it. I rock. Like, yeah, like, duh. I said, that's exactly what it means. And it's a catchy name. And I have to tell you, Natalie, I got that name from the Lord. I mean, when I was naming my business 7.5 years ago, I chose a name that I didn't know how you had to look up to make sure nobody had a name and all that kind of stuff, because I was a new business owner. I'm a corporate head, so I don't know anything about that. So I just started naming my business until I got a call from a client of the other resume name that I chose and say, no, you're not the same lady I worked with. I said, but I can do it for you. She's like, no, goodbye. I'm going to the other person. Because she said, she said, well, you're in Dallas now? She said, because the person I worked with was in California. And then I ended up doing my due diligence research and found out I had the same name as someone else. And then my husband said, well, don't panic. Just pray about it. And literally within 30 minutes after praying, the Lord dropped in my spirit, IROC. So I got out and I looked for it, and there was only like an IROC Quandary, real rocks and stuff like that, and an IROC music thing, nothing to do with career services. I bought up every IROCresumes.org.net.com. And I've been IROC ever since, and it's so catchy, but it truly means IROC. And I said that was nothing but from the Lord, who is IROC, right? Isn't he IROC?
Exactly.
He is IROC.
Exactly.
Yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
It's a theme. It's
Yes.
a theme.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I love it. Well, you know what, Natalie? It has been my pleasure to have you on. I'm so excited that we got a chance to connect again and to be on here. And you've been just a joy, as you always are. You all please connect with Natalie out on LinkedIn. And I have your thing up here because he did put it up here. Okay, you can email her at natalie.storrs@inspirity.com. So email her, just, if you want to pick her brain about what she does and interested in a career like hers, please do that. And definitely connect with her on LinkedIn. Please do that. And, follow her and make those connections, because again, adding to your network with valuable people such as Natalie will enhance who you are as a professional as you maneuver the career environment or what have you. Again, it's all about landing your dream job and not just a job. And what does that really mean? Go to irocresumes.com, take that 60-second career assessment and know who you are, and then leverage that as well. So, Natalie, any last parting words that you would have for our audience?
I hope everyone has wonderful blessings around this holiday season. If you haven't already heard me say, get out and volunteer, and absolutely reach out to me, connect with me. You can always find me on LinkedIn, of course, and all of my contact information is there. But I'm here if you need me. And Nickquolette, you're awesome. I appreciate you so much.
Oh, girl, I
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you
me.
too. And thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. My audience has been blessed by you. Thank you so much for being with us. And I cannot wait to see your beautiful face to face, literally, hopefully soon, right?
It's going to be.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Well, audience, thank you all so much for being with me for yet another episode of IROC TV. Make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We are growing out there, and there's over 115 videos out there at this point to help you with your career. Anything on resume writing, career development, interview prep, LinkedIn. Go out there and take advantage of that information, and also share with others who are looking for valuable information to help them with their careers. And I have awesome people out there as well. So please do that. So I'm going to let Natalie go because she's got to get to her training. Thank you, Natalie. Virtual hugs to you.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.